Welcome aboard, riders, to Mr. Bones' Wild Rides. Today, I'm bringing you a Tomb Raider 1 Remastered Modern Glitch tutorial. I noticed that there's a few tutorials for individual glitches and a few full game tutorials for the original, but none for the remaster with modern controls. So, in an effort to get more people into glitched runs, I thought I'd make this tutorial for Tomb Raider 1 Remastered Glitched Any %. This tutorial assumes you have a relative familiarity with Tomb Raider 1 and the modern control scheme. If you're a complete beginner to Tomb Raider and or speedrunning, I've linked a tutorial to the more accessible glitchless version of this run by the legendary Eycore, both in the corner of the video and in the description. These are also the glitches and setups that I personally use in my speedruns. Every glitch has multiple different setups, and there may be better strategies found after this video is made. The All Secrets Pass will be done, as well as a final cheat sheet in separate videos. If you want more guides like this, make sure to drop a sub and all the other YouTube stuff. And without further ado, let's begin. So you're going to start a new game. You can skip these cutscenes, and it drops you off in caves. Now, what is very important for Tomb Raider 1 and 2, because there's no sprint button, there's a different way that we use to go faster. And it's just running and jumping. It's faster than running, and it doesn't really require much extra effort. So you want to run and jump. You want to stay just on the edge of the slope, and you're going to keep running. I like to take my guns out early, just so I don't have to think about it, because when you turn this corner, Lara's forced to look up at this alcove, and pulling out your guns cancels that. And you just want to run and jump. What I like to do, and what the speedrun strat is to turn this corner sharply, run along this ridge on the wall, and do like that. Now how you do that is you want it to be against the wall. I like to be right under this ridge on the ceiling. Turn this way, run and jump, and while she's in the air, hold left. Don't hold anything else, just hold left. Like this. And then keep holding left as she lands, and she'll turn this way, and then running jump again up this. And you want to run and jump through this hallway. You can kill the 3 bats if you want. You're just going to keep running and jumping. When you turn this corner, you want to immediately start running and jumping. It doesn't matter what your sequence is. You want to be able to start jumping as soon as you turn the corner. So if you have to take just a few neutral steps, that's fine. But you want to jump, jump, and jump. And you should land about here, if you do it correctly. What you don't want to do is bonk on the wall, like that. And then you want to roll off. In Tomb Raider 1, there is a mechanic where every time, if you are in the front half of a block, and there is some sort of drop down that's at least a quarter of a block, so like a step, or like something like this, something higher like this, but not something like this. If it's less than a quarter of a block, you won't get it. You'll just roll. But if you're on the edge and you roll, she'll fall forward and continue. It's good for stumble canceling, like it would be here, where you're falling down pretty significantly. See how I stumble? But if you roll, it cancels the stumble. So rolling is pretty much one of the only... You can't do any directional inputs, but you can do any other input. So you can pull out your guns, you can roll, all of that. Then, if you are too far back, like if you're back here, and you roll, she'll turn back around, and then you stumble again. You want to jump over here. You ideally want to land like on this little white Y right here on the floor. You'll see me use textures as visual references very, very often in this tutorial. I also use level geometry a lot. So just keep that in mind. If you should land here so that you can running jump again to land here and roll off. If you land somewhere else, that's fine. Just get in this hole. And just run jump down here. You want to pull this lever from as far to the right as possible. Because while the door is opening, there's a period where you still can't run through the doorway until the door is almost fully open. So if you pull it early, if you pull the level early, it gives you more time to run through the door and you're not moving. There's less time you're not moving. And you kill the bat, and with that we've arrived at our very first glitch. I'll do it first, and then I'll break it down for you and show you an easier option. Like that. And that puts you at the very end of the level. So, how I did that is you jump up here, and you want to visualize the grid system in Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider, the first 5 Tomb Raiders are done in a grid system, where everything is made up of square blocks. If you change graphics, you can kind of see the seams on the floor a little bit better. You can see the corner right here. So you want to be on this corner and run straight at this wall right here, not at the corner. But you want to do a running jump a little bit to the right of this seam in the bricks. So like here. You want to aim like right there. It's not super precise, but it's precise enough. Like that. A beginner way of doing it, like with a setup, is to come here, pull up on this platform, pull out your guns to turn around. There are 2 ways to neutral turn. There's this one, which is less precise, just turning the camera with your guns out. Or you can jump forward, or jump straight up, and turn in the stumble animation. You see she does like a little crouch. You can't move during that animation. But if you turn the camera the direction you want to go, and press forward, she'll turn in that direction. Like this. Just don't hold it too long, because then she'll start running. So you're going to come over here, turn, and then you want to face this corner. So you just want to go straight diagonal across. And do 2 running jumps, and then on the second one, grab. Like that, and you want to aim for the same spot. Then we're going to do the next glitch. So you're going to run straight for this slit in the wall right here. You want to line Lara up with that slit. You want to turn the camera into the corner. I like to use Lara's ear as a reference. If it's just to the left of the corner, you're in the right place. And just jump forward. And she should teleport to the top of the block. Some other outcomes. If you are too far to the left, she'll just hit the slope. If you're too far to the right, she'll either hit the wall, she'll either bonk into the wall, or she'll slide along this wall like that. What you also want to do, I'll explain something later for these kinds of glitches, to avoid that stumble that you do at the top. You cannot do it here. If you roll here, she'll fall back down. Like... That'll make it a lot harder to do this glitch. So what you want to do is roll late. Like that. Then you want to run and jump over here. The wolf will spawn. You can kill it. Wolves take 3 pistol shots to kill. Pick up the medkit if you like. You don't have to. Running jump. A little bit of information about switches in Tomb Raider 1. If you run at the wall to avoid that, where she puts her hands against the wall, if you jump around here, or if you let go of running early, and this works for any wall, by the way, not just levers. If you stop moving close enough to the wall, she'll run up to the wall, but she won't bonk. Like that. See, I can't go any further. So what you want to do, and another thing that you can do for switches and keyholes, is if you jump against it like that, run jump against it, she'll do a little stumble. If you press the action button in that stumble animation, it'll cancel. Like that. You're gonna turn around, pull your guns out to cancel the camera. You don't want to pull out your guns too early, because if you just press back and guns, she'll do that, and that loses a bit of time. I'm gonna run around this corner. Now for this jump, I want to show you how to do this, because I see some people do it wrong. I used to do it wrong a lot. What you want to do is you want to align the jump from this corner to this corner in the pillar right here. Then you want to do a running jump, curve around this wall, and grab. And that should put you far enough on this platform that you can just roll off and continue running. Like this. Like that. And then you just run to the end of the level. And that's caves. You've successfully done Caves Glitched. The setup for the very first glitch in City of Vilcabamba starts immediately. So when you enter the level, if you're a beginner, save. Immediately. Because you only get one shot at doing this glitch. You have to do it in quick succession. And if you mess up, you have to restart the level. So it's very much a run killer. So I'll do the glitch first, and then I'll break it down. I'll do the whole glitch, and then it consists of two parts. It's the co-op activation. It's called a co-op. It consists of the co-op activation and then the quicksand. So I'll just do it, and then I'll break it down. Like that. So as you see, there was the co-op activation and the quicksand underneath the wall. For those that are curious, co-op doesn't stand for anything. It stands for the keyboard letters Q, W, O, and P, because there used to be a browser game in the early, late 2000s, called co-op, where you use those 4 keys to make your character run. And the animation that she does in the co-op state is similar to that game. So it reminds people of that game. So what you're going to do, again, the setup has to be done in quick succession, because as soon as you pass this line right here, the wolves will wake up and spawn and stuff, and then they can mess up your setup. So you want to lurch forward. You want to running jump, roll, pull out your guns, jump twice to the left. And then as soon as you land, you want to hold forward. And as soon as she starts moving forward, hold jump. And then as soon as she jumps, hold right. And don't let go of any inputs as you're doing this. Like so. And she should jump into the corner and start the co-op. Now, a co-op lasts for 10 seconds. There are a few things that you can't do in a co-op. You can't take a fall, like that. You can't hit walls, and you can't stop moving. If you do any of those things, you'll come out of the co-op. The co-op will end, but you can shoot, you can turn, you can run into doors, And you can go up and down stairs. Like this. Any drop where she continues running, you can do. If she falls like that and she stops running, then that'll pull her out of the co-op. You want to activate the co-op and then head this way. Head down the stairs. The wolves might try to get in your way. It might happen. Just try to not let them, because the co-op only lasts 10 seconds. Then you want to hug this wall and turn into this wall. What you want to do, if you see this little opening in the wall, that's where you're headed for. It's hard to look up in a co-op, so what I like to do is use these stains on the wall as reference. This stain right here, you want to be just to the left of it, or on the left side of it. And they are at OG graphics too. You want to hug this wall, turn sharply 90 degrees, head this way, and start holding grab. Head towards the wall while holding grab. If the co-op ends while you're doing that, she'll quicksand under the wall, and she'll end up on the other side. If you turn too early or too late, she'll void, which means she enters the void. I'll show that to you in a second. If you're at a diagonal like this, she may go this way instead. In which case, you know, you can't do the co-op anymore. So I'll show you what voiding looks like, as well as doing the glitch in its entirety. So I'll show you what happens if you void. That happens. So the camera will pan at the ground, you can't move, you can't really do anything. You can pull out your guns. But as you see, I'm pressing every button, and there's not really any escape. Here's what happens if you hit look. As you see, Lara's in the void. And we're stuck here. In which case, you would need to reload. And we'll do it one more time. Correct way. I said the correct way. This co-op can also be YOLO'd, by the way. So you don't have to do the setup if you're, like, really, really good. There's a medkit here, you can pick it up if you like. You don't have to kill the bats, but they might mess you up. Then you want to do a fake grab. Right here. And what that looks like is there are two different ways of doing it. You can either roll off the edge of the platform and hold grab and also roll at the same time. And she'll do this. Otherwise, what you can do is you can just delay your grab, like this. Either way, it's the same outcome. Then you want to pick up this key. Jump over here, collect the idol. Now there are 3 ways to get out of here. You have nothing left to do in here, there are 3 ways out of here. The first thing you can do, and the easiest, I'll show easy, medium, hard. The easiest, but the slowest, is to go this way. Push this block. Until you see these little curlies. Then you're going to do a crack bug. And what a crack bug is you face the seam in between a movable block and a wall. Face at the 45 and jump through. Pretty simple. Then You want it to jump up here. There's another medkit here if you want to pick it up. Then go over here and leave. Otherwise, the medium way of doing it is with this glitch. You're going to go over here to the corner, or you can go over here. It doesn't matter which side you do it on. You want to pull up. You're going to turn your camera towards this corner and jump into the corner. Just like that. Pretty simple. And I think you can even cancel the stumble by holding roll as you enter the wall. Yeah. You can also do it on this side. Like that, and she'll land over there. The hard way, but the fastest way, is to do a shelf bug. You're going to come right here. You want to align Lara's foot with the edge of this platform. Face the wall as dead on as you can. And then jump forward and to the right. Like that. And again, you can, I think, hold roll to cancel the stumble there. The positioning is super precise here, by the way. You have to be at that position. Because if you are too far in, when I say in, okay, so when I say in, like being too far in, I mean you're too far away from the corner. When I say too far out, I mean too close to the corner. If you do like this, she'll either just jump straight up, or she'll bonk into the wall. Like that. And if you're too far out, like if you're here, and you try it, she'll just jump through the wall. And you can also do the shelf bug here as well. It's a little bit harder, I think, because there's less visual. Because the visual I use is Lara's foot. Okay, that was too far to the left. There you go. Then you want to just leave the way you came. When you're jumping down, make sure to bonk your head on the wall. Don't just run off the edge of the... Don't just run off the edge, because then you'll stumble. But if you bonk your head on the ceiling before you take a fall, she won't stumble. Like that. Now you kill the wolves. Any way you like. There's 4 of them. There are 4 wolves. So make sure you kill 4 of them. If you only kill 3 of them, one's running around somewhere. What I like to do if I can't find one, like if one doesn't show up, I like to run over here and just keep going and then see if he's shown up by the time I get here. From here, we're going to do our next glitch. We're going to do a second quap. So you're going to put the key in the keyhole, and while she's doing the animation, you're going to save. Then, as soon as she puts the key in the keyhole, what you're going to do is you're going to pull out your guns and jump to the left. You're going to side flip to the left. You're going to roll, and you're going to turn back. You're going to hold down and do 2 running jumps that way. The reason why you have to do it quickly is because the door is still opening, and while the door is still opening, you can't go through the door. So you'd be doing all of this in place as opposed to going through the doorway. So I'll show that. Okay, 2 running jumps. And as she lands, you see how she does like this little crouch, this little squat? That's when you want to pull up your inventory. Because we're going to do an inventory buffer. What an inventory buffer is it advances the game by 2 frames. With whatever inputs you have. So in this case, we're going to do an inventory buffer down and to the left. So to do that, you're going to hold the inventory button down and left all at the same time, and the inventory should come right back up. And as you saw Lara turn just a little bit, you want to close the inventory now and reset your camera. You can also save here, because you can sit here as long as you want, but don't move. You want to reset your camera and do 2 running jumps. This way, you should land here, do a standing jump to land here, do a running jump into the ceiling, and then you're going to turn slightly to the, scooch slightly to the left. So to do that, you're going to let go forward, hit left, and then immediately hold forward and jump. So it looks like this. Like that. And then she should be in the co-op state. You're going to go all the way over here, and you're going to go to this door and hold action, and she'll go into the door. That all has to be done in quick succession, because as soon as you pass this line, this wolf will spawn. This wolf will wake up, this wolf will wake up, all the wolves will wake up, and they'll mess up your setup. So you have to do it quickly. So again, it's running jump, standing jump, running jump, turn and jump. Get your little quappy. You're going to go all the way up here, and you're going to hold action against this door. Then you're just going to go through this hallway like normal. When you get to this lever, this glitch, I'm not sure if it actually saves time or not. Feel free to let me know. But to do it, you're going to pull the lever, and while she's doing the lever animation, you're going to pull out your guns, hold walk, and back. Hi, bear. Like this. And she should teleport to the bottom of the water. From there, we're going to do what's called a skyfish. And I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'll explain it. Like that. Now, what I just did is I'm going, as you see, there's this like lip right here where you can go under the wall. You want to make sure you're embedded in the wall when you're going up. About halfway up, turn into the wall, and she'll teleport to the top. You don't want to do it here, because you can't. You'll just end up right here. So either you want to do it before then or after then. I like to do it kind of in the corner. So again... This one is pretty difficult. See, that's what happens when you don't go far enough. Like that, and turn towards the wall. Boom. I'm gonna kill the bear. You shouldn't. But we're gonna do a modified shelf bug, just like the one we did by the idol after picking up the idol. You're gonna do one here. You're gonna do a modified version of it though. So you're going to go a little bit further in from where you normally do it. See how her foot's like a little bit further away from the wall? You want to turn your camera slightly this way, and then do it. And then you do it correctly. She'll go through the corner and end up here on the platform. You have to turn, for that one, for that shelf bug, you have to turn your camera. You have to, because otherwise you'll just teleport to the top of this wall right here, and then just fall straight down. Then you're going to pull this lever. Pull out your guns to cancel the camera. Jump over here, you're gonna do another stumble cancel. Like that. And then you're gonna leave. Everybody say bye, Vilka! Bye, Vilka! And we're gonna head into Lost Valley. Lost Valley, you're just gonna do your running jump sequence. Just like in Glitchless. What you want to do is you want to jump diagonally here, and you want to aim for, and you want to grab, late grab, and you want to aim for this white rock right here and roll across that gap, and it'll cancel your stumble. Like this. Like that. Then you jump up here, kill this wolf, because he can kill you if you're low HP by the time you get out of here. Pull up here, jump up here, and now we're going to do... I don't think this has a name, but you're going to jump and roll midair at this slope, immediately jump off the slope, and hold right, like this. And that saves a pull-up animation. In Tomb Raider 1, there's 2 animations you want to avoid as much as possible. You want to avoid stumbles and pull-up animations, because they both take a long time. Then you take this medkit if you like. He's not using it. Hit your head on the ceiling to cancel the stumble. If it lets me. There you go. Jump over here. And then jump down. And we are going to head straight into the valley. I'm going to kill the raptor so they don't mess me up while I'm explaining things. Fun fact, when you kill raptors, they do a little wave animation. Then, as soon as you pass this slope right here, the Barney will spawn, the boss. You don't have to kill him, I'm going to. Just so that he doesn't mess me up while I'm trying to explain things. But you're going to jump straight up here. Okay. So then, when you're on here, you see this big black splotch on the wall? This one? You want it to be in the middle of that. And we're gonna do what's called a slope bug, where you want to be about 1/3 of the way across the block, away from the wall. To do slope bugs and to figure out how you should do them, you need to look at the actual geometry of the block that you're on. This one is not diagonal, it's just flat, and it goes straight up to this wall. So, you want to... That means we're going to jump at this wall head-on, or a tiny bit to the left or right. What that equates to for a visual is to be in the middle of this black splotch and jump into the corner. If that happens, you are not in the right place. It's 1 Lara walk away from the wall, by the way. Like that, you can hold roll as soon as you hit the wall to cancel the stumble. Pick up the gear. Run once that way, or tap forward that way. And you're going to jump around this corner to land on this slope. And now you can either go in here, or you can just jump into this waterfall here. Either or. I think that jumping into the waterfall is a little bit faster. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's a little bit faster. But if you go the other way, you have a better opportunity to kill the raptor that spawns in here. Now we're going to do a series of 3 slope bugs. I'll do it first, and then I'll explain how it's done. Just like that. So what I did is I pulled up, just like the slope bug before, we're going to pull up about 1/3 of the way across the block. I like to use this line, this black line right here, as a reference. I'm going to pull up, turn towards the wall. I like to turn like that, so that there's a little bit, like if you flatten the camera out, it's just as this waterfall on the left side of your screen disappears. You're gonna jump forward, roll, jump back, roll, and jump left, roll. And it's all about the positioning, and if you don't get it, it's all about the positioning of the first slope bug. If you don't get it, that's fine. There's other ways to do it. That's just the fastest. So you can slope bug here. Then you can set up the slope bug, or you can run over here, jump off the slope, turn midair, and land here. Jump up here, and jump up there. Whatever works for you. Then this next strat is very dangerous. You can die doing this, so beginners save here. You're going to trace a line from this little yellow-orange rock right here to this corner in the ceiling. And you're going to jump that way, curve a little bit to the left, and grab. If you grab too late, you'll hit the ground. If you grab too early, you'll hit the ground. Otherwise, you can just, hop down slowly and jump into the water. Whatever works for you. Then you're going to run like mad and pray that you get good T-Rex RNG. If Barney likes to cut you off and body block you, so you just have to pray for good RNG. It actually helps if you say "roar for me, baby." If you yell it as loud as you can. I like to come up here, jump up here, go in here, and swan dive. And that puts you at the perfect angle to collect the gear. Then, pull up right here. You want to pull out of the pool right here. If you pull up somewhere else, this is the best way to get good RNG. Otherwise, your RNG might be different. And then just make a mad dash for the entrance. You want to head all the way back to the beginning of the level. I like to jump on these little platforms. It just works for me. And run all the way over here. Here, you want to jump up on this platform. And you want to jump early towards this slope right here. If you run all the way to the edge, she'll just stop. So you want to jump a little bit early and then curve Lara a little bit towards downslope. Even if you are just a pixel downslope, she'll go downslope. Then you want to jump, and then I like to roll, get down any way you like. Come over here, and head all the way back up to the beginning. That's how I like to do it. From here, there are two different ways you can go. There's an easy way that's slightly slower, and a hard way if you're going for a world record or something. The easy way, jump over here, jump over here, jump over here, and if you're like a beginner, you want to jump and grab here, and then jump over there to the yellow bricks, or you can do a banana jump. What a banana jump is, it's a jump where you curve it mid-air. So in this case, you want to run and jump slightly around this corner, like that. And what that looks like is like this. If you are going for world record, the harder way of doing it, if you're going for world record, the fastest way is to do it like this. Like that. Then you want to ignore the shotgun for now, we'll come back and get it later. Then you want to pull up on this block, roll, and jump at the slope. Jump backwards. A thing that helps to cancel the stumble at the top of the slope bug is you just roll as soon as you hit the wall. So it looks like this instead. Then you want to do your stumble cancels against this. Put all of the gears in. And for the lever. Pull out your guns to cancel the camera. Now what we're going to do is get the shotgun. And what you're going to do is you're going to run off the edge right here, aim to land here-ish, because we're going to roll off that way. So it looks like this. And then jump at the wall and collect the shotgun. Now what you don't want to do is this. You don't want to banana jump around this. Because if you do, this will happen. This may happen. And that loses you time, or you can even, like, permanently void and die. Yeah, so you want to avoid banana jumping unless you're really good at it and can get all the way around like that. Otherwise, you want to just jump here and then jump here. Like that. Then run all the way over here. You want to run up to this slope all the way until you can't go anymore. If you jump too early, she'll hit the slope, no matter what. Like, no matter what. You want to run all the way to the edge of the slope, jump, and immediately turn to the right. Like that. Then roll over the gap. And you're done. Now we're on to Tomb of Qualipec. Now we're going to have a conversation about trigger tiles and about flip maps. So a flip map is anytime, so when something happens in a level, like let's say the room fills with water or the ceiling collapses or something like that, anytime that happens, what's actually happening in the game coding is that the game is swapping out the original room for a nearly identical room. And that's called a flip map. When you start this level, don't run all the way. So yeah, don't just start running. Because this tile right here is a trigger tile. When you step on this tile, it will trigger the flip map for the first room of Tomb of Qualipec. As you can see now, the ceiling is all rocky. If I were to go up this ramp, the gate wouldn't close. The boulder would still drop, but the gate wouldn't close. And when I walk through this main room, rubble is going to fall from the ceiling. Otherwise, if you hit the trigger, I'll save and I'll show you. First thing you hear is a waterfall. That means you hit the flip map. And now if you look, the ceiling's intact. And the gate will close. See, and now I can't get through. So we're going to skip that trigger tile. What you're going to do is you're going to walk all the way as close to the edge of the tile as you can against this wall. Turn your camera about a little more than 45 degrees that way and jump forward. You should clip through the wall. If you teleport to the top of the wall, then you were too far in. If you hear the trigger tile activate, like with the waterfall, that means you're too far out. We're gonna run through, the ceiling's gonna collapse. The boulder's gonna drop, we're gonna bounce off the left wall and to jump over the boulder. You may take damage, but you won't die. Gonna collect the Skion. If only this level was that easy. If only all tomb raiding was that easy. And you're gonna just run back. You're gonna keep running and jumping. Now, you can get a boost from this rubble right here if you run along this seam in the floor and jump as soon as you cross this piece of rubble. Like this. I was too far to the left. Too far to the left again. This is pretty precise. This is more of an IL strat, but it can't hurt to try. Yeah, I just got it that time. Now we're gonna run along. And now we have a boss fight with Larson. Larson's gonna spawn right here as soon as I go over the water. Larson's gonna spawn right here. So there are a few different things that you can do. If you are going for world record, you can take out the shotgun here. And you can run and jump to bounce off of this slope. And jump again to land here without ever going in the water. That's very, very precise. Let me see if I can even get it. Like that. What I typically like to do, which is much easier, is I just jump around this corner into the water, and I get a pot shot on Larson with the shotgun as I enter the water. The easy strat is to just jump in the water and swim over here and pull out. So what I do is like this. And then you pull out, he's gonna run around, then you can just kill him with pistols. Every enemy in every enemy in Tomb Raider attacks from the front, every single one. So if you stay behind them, they can't hit you. They can't attack you. And that's true for every single enemy in Tomb Raider. I believe that's true for every enemy in Tomb Raider 1 to 5. I think that's true. It's definitely true for Tomb Raider 1. So you just kill him. You want to stay behind him to not take too much damage. Okay. When he gets low health, I think if he takes one more hit, he's going to do a little spin, and he's going to fall to the ground, and the level's going to end. What you have to do, and it's very, very, very important, you have to swan dive into the water after he falls. So he does that, and swan dive. And that's it. That's Peru. In the next video, we're going to tackle Greece. I hope you join me. Starting with St. Francis Folly. I'll leave you with this cutscene. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and remember, thank you for watching, and remember, the ride never ends. Goodbye.